The night my wife told me she was going on a date with another man, she was laughing. Not nervous. Not guilty, laughing. She stood in front of our bedroom mirror, fixing her hair while I sat on the edge of the bed, completely silent. "I'm going out tonight," she said casually. "With who?" She smiled at herself in the mirror. "Someone I've been talking to." I stared at her reflection. "Are you saying you're going on a date?" She finally turned around, smiled, and said, "Yes, don't be jealous." I waited for the punchline. There wasn't one. My wife, Emily, and I had been married for 11 years. We had built a home together, shared vacations, paid bills, celebrated birthdays, and survived the ordinary problems married couples face. Or at least I thought we had. For the last few months, Emily had changed. She started guarding her phone. She would turn the screen away whenever I entered the room. She began staying late at work and coming home smelling like a different cologne, not hers. Whenever I asked, she called me insecure. "You're imagining things," she would say. So when she finally admitted she was seeing someone, I expected an explanation. Instead, she acted like I was supposed to accept it. "I just want to have some fun," she said. "You shouldn't make a big deal about it." "Are you cheating on me?" She rolled her eyes. "Call it whatever you want." That sentence hurt more than I expected. Not because I suddenly discovered she had feelings for someone else. It was because she had stopped caring whether I was hurt. She picked up her purse. "I'll probably be late." I looked at her and asked quietly, "When did you stop loving me?" She paused for a second. Then she laughed. "Seriously? Don't make this dramatic." And she walked out. I heard the front door close. For several minutes, I didn't move. Then something inside me became strangely calm. I opened my laptop and searched for a divorce attorney. The next morning, I made an appointment. I didn't tell Emily. Over the next week, I gathered our financial documents, reviewed our accounts, and began understanding exactly what separating our lives would require. Meanwhile, Emily became even more careless. She posted pictures online from restaurants she had supposedly never visited. Friends began asking me questions. One evening, she came home and tossed her keys onto the counter. "You're acting weird lately," she said. "I've been thinking." "About what?" "Us." She smiled. "Finally. Maybe you're realizing you need to relax." I looked directly at her. "No, I'm realizing I don't want this marriage anymore." Her smile disappeared. "What?" I filed for divorce. For the first time in months, Emily looked genuinely shocked. "You did what?" "I filed yesterday." She stared at me as if I had broken some unspoken rule. "You can't just do that." "I can." "But we're married." "You seemed to forget that when you started dating someone else." She became angry immediately. "You knew I was unhappy." "I knew you were unhappy. I didn't know you had decided our marriage was optional." She started crying. She said she had made a mistake. She said the other man wasn't important. She promised she would end everything. But I had already heard enough promises. The strangest part was that she suddenly wanted to save our marriage, only after realizing I was willing to leave it. A few days later, I discovered something even worse. The man she had been dating wasn't some random person. He was a coworker she had introduced to me months earlier. I remembered shaking his hand. I remembered Emily smiling beside him. And I remembered her telling me, "He's just a friend." That memory finally killed the last piece of doubt I had. During the divorce process, Emily repeatedly asked me to reconsider. Sometimes she cried. Sometimes she blamed me. Sometimes she reminded me of all the good years we had shared. But I kept remembering that night. Her standing in front of the mirror. Her laughing. Her saying, "Don't be jealous." She had expected jealousy. She had expected an argument. She had expected me to fight for her. Instead, I gave her exactly what she never thought I would give her: freedom. Months later, our divorce was finalized. Emily walked out of the courthouse alone. I watched her disappear into the parking lot, then took a deep breath. I wasn't happy. I wasn't celebrating. 11 years of marriage don't disappear because paperwork is signed. But I was finally at peace. She had laughed when she told me she was going on a date. I didn't laugh. I didn't scream. I didn't beg. I simply realized that if my wife could openly choose another man while expecting me to stay beside her, then the marriage was already over. I was just the one brave enough to file the papers.